to assume, I think, as people are more or less like we are, to recognise diversity, to appreciate diversity. The universe is increasingly diverse in all kinds of ways. It's a really good thing. It's to step outside of our own, our own world, our own focus, and to consider the circumstances others are in. That can only help if we all take that step. That can only help then to kind of help us to orientate ourselves to others who are in different circumstances, which means that people then can get on and get on much better.
When you become a student parent, you don't instantly become a whole different person. You still have the same ambitions when you applied for Oxford. You still have the same interest and all the drive that you have, but additionally you're a parent.
I love being a parent, and I really love studying and having a family and a daughter, and I think it's great to be able to be studying and then to go see my family and meet them, and they really kind of encourage me.
So my name's Ed Brooks. I've lived in Oxford for about the last 5 years, started a DPhil this last September in theology at Oriel. I'm married to Lubov. I've got 3 children, Sophia, Felix and Alexa, who are 5, 4 and coming up to 4 months. So it's been a busy year.
My name is Ash and I recently graduated having read Portuguese and Linguistics BA at St Peter's College.
My name is Jim Van Dyke.
And I'm Samantha.
And this is our 3rd year in Oxford. I started studying here for an MPhil in theology, Christian ethics, and as our 3rd year, I just finished the MPhil, and this is the 1st year of the DPhil.
This is my son, he's Jithu, he's going to be 3 tomorrow. And I had him when I was a student, a 2nd year student at St Peter's College.
Okay, well, so during my MPhil, we had a baby here in Oxford, and she's about 19 months now, and we had a really great experience.
I found out I was pregnant over the summer vacation after my 1st year, and my first response was obviously fear and uncertainty, and I was very scared about telling my parents, as well as all the consequences it has on my degree.
There are challenges in joining together any different aspects of life for everyone. There are particular challenges for the student's life. I guess that there's a subject that the focus oriented and a time pressure, and it's my work, and that can mean that work can very quickly become something which is quite consuming, and it can lead to tensions, I guess, in family life. You can't start at 9 AM and knock off at 5 or 6, whatever it is, and have a steady routine necessarily. Things will stretch into the evenings, things will occupy your mind, and you're supposed to be with the children, and I can feel that sense of tension that you could always be doing more on the research side, which I guess the children and the Blue One probably do feel as well sometimes. Am I really there when I'm there? That's definitely a challenge.
So one of the main challenges that we just thought was in the beginning when we first, I guess, found out that we were pregnant. We didn't really know, it's a new health system to us. I mean, we were from the States, so we didn't really know, how to necessarily access it. And Jim had some orientation in college with the, he knew that there was there's a GP that his college was affiliated with, and he knew there was a nurse for the college, but we weren't sure exactly, what resources there were. And if that information is available, it just wasn't like maybe, we just didn't know about it. But it was just kind of, that was a challenge, just trying to learn the new health system and figure out, okay, what do I need to do now to get, what kind of care do I need, so.
One of the biggest challenges, I think, of being a student parent at Oxford is the difficulty of making a living, as I'm not working. And my wife has been doing a lot of the childcare. It means that it's difficult to, if you're not currently on a scholarship or something like that, it's very difficult to make enough money to keep things going.
Another thing that we've sometimes wondered is kind of where's the best place to change the baby, and kind of when you're out, take the baby, and that could be something that colleges could consider, is maybe creating changing facilities and making new parents aware of those, or just kind of places where you can take the baby for a little quiet area to kind of, when you're out in town or in between lectures or something like that.
There is 2 children for each childcare space in Oxford, and that's the same in London, and there's nothing that's been done to alleviate it by the council or the university.
One of the things I think would be really helpful would be if there were better access to childcare through the university. That would be really helpful, especially for graduate students who have families, because that would free up some time for either the father or the mother to do a bit more work.
So looking out for, or just being aware of other friends with children and what that means at a certain time can be a really helpful thing. I would never have considered, if I didn't have children, I really wouldn't have considered what life could be like.
The university has some hardship grants sometimes, but they can be difficult to find out about.
The university law states that we cannot apply for hardship fund if there is any planned expenses going out for any student, and the fact was that childcare was considered to be a planned expense, whereas my whole pregnancy was unplanned because I got pregnant partway through my degree, and therefore I didn't have any contingency plans in place to go forward in terms of funding for my son's childcare whilst I continued education. And the fact is, I knew a lot of friends who didn't continue with their pregnancy when they got pregnant whilst they were at university, same age as me, and I also knew parents who got pregnant and they dropped out of university because of all these procedures that they had to go through, from applying for funding and student parents and sort of parents carers allowance from the Student Finance England, to sorting out all my status as a student parent and reinstating and coming back after my maternity leave.
Well, our experience with NHS here in Oxford was great. We found the specialists at the JR to be very responsive.
I spoke to my welfare officer at St Peter's College. She was very helpful, and she spoke with my tutor at college as well. Overall, the response I got about my pregnancy and everything was very positive. I think, in fact, being from an Asian background and having a baby, getting pregnant out of wedlock was probably harder on my parents than on the college, and I think the college and the faculty, staff and everyone was so supportive. I think that's the only reason I was able to sort of carry on with my pregnancy.
There's a wonderful community of many students as well, and student friends were incredibly supportive in helping at that time, in sending through, even for my studies, sending through references or research notes and that kind of thing, lecture notes. And at home as well, people were incredibly supportive, other families bringing meals and being present and helping in kind of concrete ways. There's a great community around the university at the end of
it. Jim's professors were very understanding, and they were, just very, willing to accommodate whatever we needed. So.
It's taking some time to think about it. There are kind of obvious things which could help at a time when there's a stressful time in family life or whatever, and people have been helping babysitting, helping the school run, all this kind of thing. It just really makes a massive difference. So it's been a wonderful thing.
I think it would be helpful if during some of the early orientations in the college, if perhaps they touched a bit more on kind of what the options would be, or maybe if there were kind of resources out there just pointing us in the right direction to kind of know what to expect and what we needed to do first, and maybe what were some optional things that we could look into for just learning about how to be new parents. And for example, we learned about a program called
National Childbirth Trust.
Right, National Childbirth Trust, which we participated in here in Oxford, which is very helpful for kind of giving us background about what to expect and kind of learning how to prepare. So we were really grateful for that program. And I don't know how we learned about it initially, but maybe just through word of mouth. But just kind of, it could be helpful to kind of compile some of these resources and suggestions for parents to just kind of have a go-to place to start.
Having children is an incredible thing, and life will be different. And I think certainly I struggle at the outset of having children, just with this tension of I've had this ways of life before, and then children came along, and just these two working against each other to some degree, and just coming to terms with actually no, look, this is a big thing. Life's different. That's fine. It's a wonderful thing, and not trying to hold on to a certain kind of way that I've always been used to, and just allowing life to take on a new shape. And once I was able to do that a bit more, actually then things worked a whole lot better.
You think about it and you want to do it, and it's, you know, a good decision for you, then you shouldn't be afraid of being a student.
I would definitely encourage students to take the leap. Having a family and a daughter here while I'm studying has been a great experience.
I guess being both a student and a parent, they're both incredible things. They're both great privileges.
I like that it makes you want to be a better person, like always, and try to just be the best, like, mom and dad.
I think it's great to be able to go home and play with our daughter, for example, and it gives me energy to get back to studying.
It's a good stress relief. And then I love making Teresa laugh, or when she makes me laugh. It's really cute.
Yeah, I would say, I mean, having a child is a great blessing.
Being both a student and a parent are wonderful things. Being a student is a really wonderful thing. So is being a parent. They're both wonderful.